Hi guys, welcome back to Cup of Teach. Today we're going to discuss rationalizing the denominator and conjugate. A radical expression is not considered to be in simplest form when the denominator contains a radical. So how do we remove the radical in the denominator? We're going to use rationalization. Rationalizing the denominator is the process of rewriting the quotient so that the denominator contains no end root. Let's have here x over the end root of y. So that is equal to x over the n root of y. So since ang denominator natin dito is radical, therefore, we need to rationalize it by multiplying the numerator and denominator by the n root of y raised to n minus 1 over the n root of y raised to n minus 1. So kung ano sa numerator, ganun din sa denominator. And here is the index. And 1 here is the exponent of y. Then, let us simplify by multiplying the numerators and multiplying the denominators. So, we will have now x, the n root of y raised to n minus 1 over y. Let's have an example. 3 over the square root of 5. So, that is equal to 3 over the square root of 5. Denominator is radical. Therefore, we need to rationalize it by multiplying the numerator and denominator by the square root of 5. Bakit square root of 5? The exponent of 5 here is 1. The index is 2. So 2 minus 1 is 1. That is why we have here the square root of 5 only over the square root of 5. So kung ano sa numerator, the same lang din sa denominator. Then simplify by multiplying the numerators and multiplying the denominators. So we will have now 3 square root of 5 over the square root of 25. 25 is perfect square. Therefore, we can simplify it. So we will have now 3 square root of 5 over 5. Next is 7 over the fourth root of 2. Just copy 7 over the fourth root of 2. So since ang denominator natin is radical, we need to rationalize it. So, ano ang i-multiply natin sa numerator and denominator? Just look at the index of 2. The index is 4. And the exponent of 2 is 1. So, subtract the index and the exponent. So, if you're going to subtract the 2, the answer is 3. Therefore, magmumultiply tayo sa numerator ng fourth root of 2 raised to the third power. So, ito na yung 3 na nakuha natin dito sa index at sa exponent kapag sinubtract natin. So, kung ano sa numerator, the same lang din sa denominator. And then, multiply natin ang numerator, then multiply the denominators. So, we will have now 7 fourth root of 8 over the fourth root of 2 raised to the fourth power. So, saan nakuha yung fourth power? Just look at the exponent of 2. That is 1. And the exponent of other 2 is 3. Just add the exponents. That is why we have here 4. So, since ang denominator natin ay perfect fourth root na, so, pwede na tayo mag-simplify. Just divide the exponent and the index. So, kapag dinivide natin ang exponent at ang index, magiging 1 na lang siya. So, hindi na natin kinakailangang ilagay pa ang 1. So, matitira na lang sa kanya ay 2. Or pwede natin i-cancel ang 4 at ang index na 4. So, matitira ay 2. So, we will have now 7 fourth root of 8 over 2. Next is cube root of 8 over x. Just separate the numerator and denominator. So, we will have now cube root of 8 over the cube root of x. Ang 8 natin dito ay perfect cube. So, pwede natin siyang i-simplify. What is the cube root of 8? That is 2. Just copy the denominator. And then, since ang denominator natin dito is radical, rationalize it by multiplying the numerator and denominator by the cube root of x raised to the second power. Why second power? Just look at the exponent of x. The exponent of x here is 1. And the index is 3. Subtract the index and the exponent. The answer is 2. That is why we have here x raised to the second power. So kung ano sa numerator, the same din sa denominator. And then multiply natin ang numerators and multiply ang denominators. So we will have now 2 cube root of x squared over the cube root of x cubed. So paano naging cube? Exponent of x here is 1 and the other x is 2. Add the exponents. That is why we have here 3. Therefore, ang denominator natin ay perfect cube na. So, simplify natin, just divide the exponent and the index. So, kapag dinivide natin, 1 na lang siya. Or pwede na natin siyang i-cancel. So, matitira sa denominator, x. So, we will have now 2 cube root of x squared over x. Next is 5 over 3 minus the square root of 2. You just copy 5 over 3 minus the square root of 2. Look at the denominator. The denominator is binomial. And we have here radical. So kapag ganito ang given, paano natin siya isi-simplify? To simplify it, we need to use conjugate. What is conjugate? Conjugate is changing the sign between two terms in my binomial. So kung ito yung binomial, babaguhin lang natin ang sign. Yun ang imumultiply natin sa numerator and denominator. So kung ito ay subtraction, magiging addition na siya. So, same sa denominator. And then, we can multiply now the numerators and denominators. So, we will have now 5 times 3 plus the square root of 2 over 3 minus square root of 2. So, kinapi lang natin. And then, times 3 plus the square root of 2. Then, yung numerator, let us use distributive property. Multiply 5 times 3. And 5 times the square root of 2. Do not forget the operation. Next, look at the denominator. Ang denominator natin is sum and difference of two binomials. So kapag sum and difference of two binomials, ang imumultiply lang natin yung first terms at yung last terms. So these are the first terms. So 3 times 3. And these are the last terms. So that is negative square root of 2 times square root of 2. Then, pwede na tayo mag-simplify. So, 5 times 3, that is 15. 5 times the square root of 2, that is 5 square root of 2. And then, the denominator, 3 times 3 is 9. And then, square root of 2 times negative square root of 2, the answer is negative square root of 4. Ang 4 ay perfect square. So, pwede pa natin siyang isimplify. The square root of 4 is 2. So, since we have here negative, that is why we have here negative 2. So, since this is positive, kapag binultiply natin ang positive at negative, the answer is negative 2 pa rin. So, that is why we have here minus 2. Then, simplify lang natin ang denominator. Yung numerator, we just copy. So that is 7. So this is now the final answer.
Thank you for watching. That's it for this video. If you learned something here, don't forget to like and subscribe to Cup of Teach. See you on the next lesson. Bye!